Oh,
We
we
are.
are live. Okay, it says we are. Okay. Jeff, give me the eye like we're live. Welcome, everybody, to the Marketing That Grows Your Business show. I'm super excited you're here. And today we're going to be talking with my good friend who we were both talking about
We're
our
fixing our COVID hair. Yeah.
but we're going to be talking about all the latest and greatest in the social media space and predictions, trends, all the stuff that is like hot topics and things that you need to know about what's coming or what you, in our estimation, you should be paying attention to and focusing in on in 2021. So as you guys are coming in, just give me a shout out. Where are you this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world? Hey, Charity, good to see you. Cute little guy you got there. Love that. So like on all of my shows, let me back up for a second. Let me introduce myself. And then I'm going to introduce Jeff to you guys, tell you a little bit about him. Some of you know him, some of you may not. But my name is Kim Garst. If you've never been with me before, if you've never been on one of my shows before, just give me a new #new so that I can wave virtually to you, meet you either in the virtual space. So we got Carolyn from Destin. Good morning, Pat. So good to see you. We got Mary Jo and Daniel says epic beard and Tash, right?
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Good morning, Joel. I'm so glad you're here. So anyway, Kim Garst, I was introducing myself. So, and I would love it if you would introduce yourself. And Jeff, this is Jeff Sieh to my, I'm not sure.
Direction. Yeah, who knows where it is.
Anyway. Yeah. But Jeff is a part of the KG team here. He helps people that come our way that wants Pinterest marketing, because he's a Pinterest pro, manly Pinterest dude, as you can tell by the beard. And live show production for some of our clients that like live video production. So those are some of the key things he helps with. But he's stinking brilliant, and he has his own show that he just started, which is. You want to tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's Social Media News Live. It's starting on Fridays at 10 p.m. Central. We're going to do a podcast as well. So we had our first show last week, and we've had one of your guests who's been on before, Holly Homer. She also did some of the Pinterest stuff that we did together a couple months ago. But she was on, and she was just brilliant with some of the stuff we're actually going to be talking about today.
Awesome. Okay, so Dominique, I just want to. I'm waving from. I'm actually in Virginia today. So y'all, let me tell y'all a quick little story that's super funny. I was just telling Jeff this earlier. I was digging up a video to send to somebody this morning, and I was looking at all my previous videos, and I'm like, man, I see the same shirt in so many videos. I've been living out of a suitcase at my dad's in Virginia, so it looks like a lot of repetition in my in the old suitcase. So I thought that was kind of funny. I thought I was wearing different things, but I guess I'm just wearing the same old every other day, it seems like. Thank you. Okay, so focus, Kim. Sometimes I get a little. Anyway, one thing I want to share with you real quick is we're going to be doing some giveaways today. So I love doing giveaways, and we're going to do 2 different giveaways. And the way you win is dropping in your aha moments. So if you have an aha moment, just drop in #aha. If it's something you like didn't know, or if it's just like, wow, that's amazing. And you can just drop in #aha. That's how we're going to be choosing the winners. And the things that we're going to give away on today's show are 2 Clubhouse invites. Now, if you're not familiar with Clubhouse is a new audio app. It's only available currently on the iPhone. So if you have an Android, you're probably going to have to wait a couple of months. But and they're invitation only, so you can only get in with an invite right now. And we're going to give away 2 of those invites on today's show. And we're going to talk about whether or not that is the new social media platform in 2020. So hang in there on that one. And then the second giveaway is we're going to give away our sponsor today, which is the Go Social Content Club. We're going to give away 3 1 month trials to the Go Social Content Club. Now, the Go Social Content Club is awesome if you sat down in front of your computer and you're like, what do I post today? Because it solves that problem. It gives you pre-designed, professionally designed images for your socials that you can share at any point. And it is designed to get people chatting with you. You know, it's engaging style content. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely enter to win, because we're going to give away 3 of those. So Paula says she is on Clubhouse now. Hello. Hey, Laura. Good to see you. I've got a Tampa gal in the house. All right. Well, I am from Tampa normally, but like I say, I'm currently in Virginia taking care of my dad. So, all right. So, Jeff.
Can I say something real quick? I want to say hi to some people. Monica says, hi, Jeff. Hi, Monica. Right back at you. And also Pat, she did show up for the Friday show. I appreciate that, Pat.
Yes. I actually saw her there.
Yeah. So appreciate you stopping by Friday. Yes. Every Friday at 10. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Excited about it.
Yeah. So do you have a quick little link that we could share? Or actually, you know what? Rhonda will share it in the, I know she will.
Yeah. So we're still putting everything together, but if you do go to socialmedianewslive.com, there's a place to sign up and get like notifications for when we go live and stuff like that. So that should be working.
Excellent. So we are going to kind of just banter back and forth with our predictions or what we think are trends that are coming in 2021. And have a conversation around it. Please ask your questions. We are happy to answer and pull them in. I guess probably starting with what I think is a big one. And it kind of ties in a little bit with the Clubhouse thing that's happening right now. A phenomena, if you will. And that is conversational marketing is going to be what's going to ultimately drive sales in 2021. So what's your take on that, Jeff? When I say conversational marketing, I mean, we're going to talk to people.
Right. So you guys want to make sure that you go, because Kim just dropped out in a brand new blog post where she talks about a lot of these things we're going to be covering today. So make sure you go to her website at kimgarst.com and find that. But conversation marketing, I think, is huge. One, because it's so noisy out there. And Kim and I were talking about this before the show. A lot of times we were just kind of doing the spray and pray method where we'd spray stuff out on social media and pray things would work. But I think and I'm seeing this with live video. I'm seeing it in a little bit in Clubhouse and some other stuff, is people, and I think it's where we're at right now, where we really want those conversations. We're getting tired of arguing all the time. And, you know, one side says this and then another side on Facebook says this. We want to have conversations about things that we are passionate about, what we need help about with our business, with our lives, hobbies, but they want to go deep. They want to have a conversation, a real conversation, because a lot of us are stuck in the house in our bathrobes. And so, you know, this is something I think is really popular right now, but I think it will continue as this digital, you know, kind of renaissance is happening. And I think it's going to continue in the foreseeable future.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly. And one of the things that I've noticed with Clubhouse, I think we're all new to Clubhouse, honestly. I've only been on Clubhouse not even 2 weeks yet. But one of the things that has been a fascinating and so welcome benefit to Clubhouse is those one-on-one conversations. So what I've been telling people, if I'm a speaker or whatever, you know, just connect with me over on IG, send me a message. And people are like, I'll go live on Clubhouse and then I'll go over to my Instagram and I'll have 25, 30, sometimes 50 people have reached out to me on Instagram. And one of the things that I'm doing, and maybe this will give you a little tip to maybe help get people to talking to you on the socials. But the one thing that's worked really well for me has been to record a voice message back to them instead of typing it. One, it's faster for me to do that. And then 2, they love it. They're like, it's so great to hear your voice versus just the text. So have an opportunity to leverage the social platforms with the audio function, which I highly recommend that you do, even with Facebook. So let me give you a Facebook Messenger little tip too. If you're on Facebook Messenger on your desktop, you can record a voice message well, I've not hit a limit yet, but on your phone, it's limited to 1 minute. So I don't know what the difference is between the two, but I usually try to use my desktop when I'm communicating with people on Messenger, because I can just talk and I don't have to worry about the 1 minute break off. But definitely use that voice feature, because I think it is, we're craving it right now. People are craving connection. And, you know, why would we not do this? So let's talk about that real quick, because you and I was talking about this a minute ago. People are reluctant to maybe do the one-on-one conversations. Why is that, Jeff?
I don't know. I think it's more and more people are doing it now because we're so desperate. But back to your point about, you know, doing that on Facebook, you can do that on Twitter. You can do it on LinkedIn. And boy, I don't know one that I've skipped over. Like, if somebody leaves me a voice message on a platform, I'm definitely doing it. So it's a great tip that Kim just gave you, is to go in and do that when, instead of hitting, you know, just typing something back on somebody sends you an Instagram message, do that audio thing and just leave them, hey, thank you so much for reaching out, blah, 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 real quick. I think it just really endears yourself to whoever you're talking to. So I think that's really important. The other thing is, I do want to talk about this Clubhouse app, because we talked about, you can go, we were having these conversations over on there. I really don't think it's a social media network. And Holly Homer, if you haven't watched the show that we did on Friday, she was very blunt on what she thought about it. And I tend to agree with her. And I want to give you guys some resources that you can use, like, to decide if maybe we all have a limited amount of time. And Kimber and I were talking about, it really is a time suck on Clubhouse. There's not really a good way for notifications right now. And so your time may be spent on other platforms where you'll get a bigger ROI. But here's a couple of resources. If you want to hear what somebody is like all in, who thinks it's just awesome, Mike Stelzner has one over on Social Media Examiner talking about Clubhouse, and he's all in on it. He loves it to death. Mark Schaefer has a great blog post on it where he kind of is a more balanced kind of one. And then there's another one on Medium, if you go on Medium and search, and they were like, it was Tom Webster who wrote this one, and he was like, yeah, I don't know. And I tend to kind of fall on the I don't know section. But here's the thing. I built my business and most of my connections on Google Plus, and it's gone, right? It's gone. It doesn't matter what platform. If you're doing the things like Kim was saying about diving deep and having these conversations and building relationships and conversational marketing, that's what builds your network, which builds your business. And so if you think you can succeed on Clubhouse, I mean, I was on with Kim and I were both on in a stage with this actor from 24 that you guys would all recognize if you would see him. I was like, I took a screenshot because I was right there next to him. So right now it's really hot. You can make these connections that you might not get somewhere else. Instagram was the same way. When you were able to DM people when everybody was getting on the app, you didn't have to go through layers of like their secretaries or whatever. You could talk to Michael Hyatt, like boom, just like that, or whoever you wanted to. So there's some opportunities there. But one, do not build all your put your eggs in all in one basket. Move them off to somewhere where you can, have a conversation that you own. But there may be an opportunity. But also just remember, you got to balance it all with return on investment, your time, all that kind of things. Go ahead.
Okay, I just have to rub my hands on this one and I'm just salivating on sharing this because it's so, so important, y'all. I just did a promotion for my list building course, and my focus in trying to tell people about why it was so necessary was around just this point that Jeff just made. Social media is not ours. And it is changing rapidly. It is changing. It changed more. I mean, it's changed more in the last week than I've seen it change in a bit. So it is not a resource. It is not our real estate. We need to build relationships and move those relationships to a place where we own. And it is, I'm telling you, and I hope you will listen to me, it is more important today than it has ever been before to leverage social media. Sure, absolutely. but to build your email list. Please, 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 if there's nothing else you pick up from this today, please listen to this, because things are changing, and we have got to leverage these platforms correctly. But I want to say one more thing, and then we'll move on to the next prediction we have for you guys. I once heard Gary Vaynerchuk say this, and I thought it was stinking brilliant. He is an early adopter for a lot of these new platforms that come out, right? Periscope back in the day, or Instagram. He jumped into Instagram, or anything that's new that has his audience there, he jumps into it. And that is smart. And the reason he says he does this is so that he calls us day traders of attention. We're trying to find and connect the people that we want to attract to us in our business and how we can serve them. But he says, if all those things goes away, he has his email list, and he says, I'll go to the next thing. I will go to the next thing. And the people that I connected with on those other platforms will go with me. Right. So it's just like Jeff talked about the Google Plus journey we've all been on. We made amazing relationships there, or Twitter or Periscope back in the day. Periscope was a tremendous tool for me, and now it's going away. They're shutting it down. So we can't build our entire business model on sand. We have got to know that we use these resources and opportunities short term, because it could be short term. And then we make sure we move those people to our email list, guys.
Can I bring up a comment on
yes.
that one from Pat? She goes, I've always said relationships build your businesses and keep it going. Get involved with your people. Now, one of the things, and I want to give an example, is that, so you don't want to be one of those people who you know who they are. They are like on LinkedIn, and they collect people. They just take them and they kind of use them, or they see what they can get with them. Building a relationship takes both ways. I did a lot of free stuff for people over on Google Plus, but that, and I'll just tell you how it led to me got my gig at Social Media Examiner from that. But I remember going to look at Peg Fitzpatrick when she was posting stuff all the time on Google Plus, and I made smart, thoughtful, engaging comments. Wasn't spammy. I wouldn't say buy my stuff. I just was engaging and asking questions and trying to learn. She kind of took me under my wing, and that, if you trace it all back, that's where I have my gig, where I'm now producing and hosting, Guy Kawasaki's podcast, where he's interviewing people like Martha Stewart and Jane Goodall, and I get to edit really cool people like that. And so I can trace that all the way back to Google Plus from a relationship that I didn't grab a hold of and see what they could do for me. It was like, I gave stuff, and that developed this relationship. We became friends, and now she's pushing opportunities my way. And the same thing with Kim, the same way with other people who I've interacted with. It all comes back to that relationships, but it's not that skeevy, scammy kind of thing. You're really wanting to help each other, and it's collaboration that kind of moves your business to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we took a little bit of time on that one, but that's a biggie. This whole relationship thing, at the end of the day, you don't need millions of people. You need your first 100 right. People that are just your person. And if you can get to that, and if every time you put something out for sale and 100 people bought it right out the gate, boom, you would be in good shape. So don't think about it as a numbers game. It's a quality of the relationships and the connections right. you make.
And it's relationships. It's a relationship. That's the thing.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, Nancy, good to see you, girl. Okay, so the next thing is something I think Jeff and I are both passionate about. In fact, we just did a 5-day challenge not long ago, Pinterest challenge together. And the reason we did that was multifaceted, but primarily because, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but it's hard to get organic free reach on the socials these days. Anybody agree with that? Drop it in if you agree that you're struggling to get free reach these days. If that is you, you're not alone. There's really only 2 social media platforms, in my opinion, that still allow us to be found, and we don't have to have tons of fans or followers on those social platforms in order to get the benefit from those platforms. So y'all want to know what those platforms are? There's still hope?
Right. Right.
Is there still hope, Jeff?
There is, and we've talked about it in our 5-day challenge. The first one is Pinterest because, yes, it's a search engine, it's a visual search engine, and so is the other one that we'll mention is YouTube. And you both of us have talked about in 2021. One of our goals is to do better on YouTube because once again, it's a search engine, and search engines tend to stick around, and you can get people coming back to your site. You don't really have to pay to play because people are actually trying to find your content and it's serving it up. So how long that will be free, because once again, it is rented land. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, but it is worth diving in and experimenting with, because these are pretty much the only two right now that are search based, and actually, you can get some long-term evergreen stuff to pop up in those networks.
Yeah, 70% of people that consume content on YouTube do so through search. So that means they're not subscribing to people necessarily. I'm sure they do subscribe to their favorites, right. But the point of it is 70% of the tons, like billions of people who are searching each and every day on YouTube find content, just through search. So that means you can be found there if you are if your videos are optimized for the search terms that you're trying to be found for. Same with Pinterest, where it doesn't, you could have 200 followers on Pinterest, and yet it could be your number one traffic source, because most people are going to find you on Pinterest through search. Mm-hmm. So it's both of those platforms, in our estimation, are opportunities into 2021 if you don't want to pay to play. Now let's talk about pay to play real quick, because I think there is something that we all need to be aware of. Even if we are wanting to pay to play, let's say Facebook, for example, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in the near future, iOS or iPhones is going to roll out a new update that is going to allow end users to block ads on Facebook.
Retargeting, yeah. And so,
did y'all hear that?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's a big stinking deal. So my point is, please, going back to what I said before, we have got to start building our list, y'all, because if we don't, these platforms are going to continue to eat away at the opportunities that we have tapped into them for. And we have gotten lazy in our marketing. We have gotten lazy. We have wanted it for free because it's been available to us for free. Well, that is coming to a stop. Or the ability for us to use them as we have in the past is beginning to shift and change, and ultimately is going to come to a stop. So I'm just trying to prepare everybody. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
So I want to circle back to Pinterest and YouTube, like why another reason. So yes, it's search-based, but also you've got to remember that at the end of those YouTube videos, and even on Pinterest, they have, they'll say suggested for you. And so there's more than one places where you could bubble up for people to see you. Like, there's a big, push on with all the YouTubers and all the SEO people on YouTube on how to get into that recommended videos at the end of the videos, and how people just continue to watch. And so there's some really great opportunities there on YouTube. So if you once again, we both know, both Kim and I, video is hard. It is. But if you do video and your competition isn't doing it, just think how much, I bet you'd be 99% of your competition is not doing video, because it's hard. So if you do the hard things and kind of stretch yourself in 2021, you can reap the benefits. You really can. So
yeah, you really can. And honestly, the next tip I have for you is also going to tie back into YouTube slightly. Because I learned something huge on Clubhouse the other day from my friend Daryl Eves, who is like the OG of YouTube, right? Is he like he's the bomb diggity? But short video content, which we're already seeing on a lot of the platforms, is going to be so powerful. So YouTube is rolling out a what are they calling it, Jeff? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's
a story feature. Yeah, it's a story feature that's going to allow us to create 1-minute content in vertical. Please key in on that, in vertical format. So I learned this from Daryl the other day. He recommended again that I start the 1 minute kind of content, the vertical content, because they are worried about TikTok, moving, a lot of their viewers are consuming a lot of content on TikTok. So they're coming to play. They're, hey, I'm the big boy on the block and I'm going to have the same features that TikTok has. So they're implementing that. Now Facebook has a stories feature. So does Instagram. So does Pinterest. The reason these platforms are implementing these types of formats, and on one side of the fence, you would think, well, YouTube has always been landscape. Why are they doing this? It's because people are consuming content in this way. And this is a big lesson for us as marketers too. If we can't stay in the same spot, y'all. What worked yesterday or a week ago or 2 weeks ago or a month ago or a year ago may not work today. And they're seeing the same thing. They're like, okay, this is a shift. We need to adjust and pivot. And that's a good big message for us too. So the thing that I think we're going to see more and more of is the consumption of short form video content, vertical content. What say you, Jeff?
I say the same thing. And you're going to need to watch what there will still be, a lot of times we like to do one vertical thing and shoot it everywhere, which you could probably do for, time wise. But the people who are really going to succeed are going to be the ones who are crafting it for that individual channel. Like there will be I have a feeling that YouTube's story-like features will be a little bit more produced than you'll see on Instagram. Because even Chalene Johnston, who you've had on the show before, has talked about she quit doing like the produced stuff. She's been using just the text overlays that you get on Instagram because people like that raw feel more on Instagram and even TikTok, and they don't like that produced stuff because that just doesn't fit on that platform. So you're going to need to look at the platform and see how people are creating content, what's the most popular one, and how it's crafted for that audience, because it's different. Snapchat users are different than TikTok users. Instagram users are different than Facebook stories users. So you need to kind of study that and figure out and then dive deep in that. If your audience is on Instagram, then really just worry about Instagram, and then you could maybe go to one of those other ones, but start there. If you want to really increase your YouTube and help build your channel, then see how you can really, engage them with this 1 minute feature that Kim was talking about with the vertical format. So you can't just we talked about earlier, somebody even commented about spray and pray. You can kind of do that to kind of see where things are, but then you really need to focus in and go like, okay, my audience here really likes this content. I'm going to make more of it.
Yeah. Holly Homer said something one day when we did the interview, the Pinterest Palooza thing. She said something that I thought was super interesting. Social media is a great Petri dish for us. Right. So, and that sounds like kind of gross, like what are we going to grow there? But the point of it that she was making is it's great for us to test and see what's working for us, but we have to pay attention. If we're not looking at our numbers to see what is working, then we're not going to know. So what Jeff just said is test this stuff out. Now, the beautiful part about this vertical concept and creating stories, in some cases, the content, depending on how you craft it, will be, you could use it on multiple platforms, right. So you create it once and you can move, like you could use it on TikTok or you could use it on Instagram or if you decide to go more of a published, professional look, you could use it on YouTube and maybe LinkedIn. So there's lots of ways for you to repurpose your content, create it once and leverage it. I'm big on the leverage piece.
You could create the content, like just to shoot the video where you're talking about like the news, what happened today. And you can craft it with overlays that work on Instagram, but you could also polish it up and put it. And I'm just saying, I don't know if that's going to work on the short stories on YouTube. I'm just guessing because I haven't tested it yet. It may be raw like everything else. I don't know, but because we're seeing a lot of TikTok videos being pushed over to Pinterest videos, which is really, really interesting to me. So you just have to wait.
I'm seeing a lot of TikTok videos on Instagram as well.
Yeah. So that may be something. Now, maybe Instagram will shut that down. it wouldn't surprise me if they will figure out a way to block you from sharing stuff over on Instagram stories because they don't like that. They want you to use Reels. So once again, if you create content and save it on your hard drive, you could push it up and change it a little bit to whatever platform you want. So right now it's really easy to click that share button on TikTok to go to those places. That may be gone. So just have a backup plan. Always be thinking about, what if they shut this down, or what if they change it so I can't do that, or maybe Square Video isn't as good as doing the vertical video anymore. And so be ready to pivot. And that's why keeping your content, like, I don't like to shoot in like an app. Like, feature, I know it saves the video, but I want to do it where I have it and then I can change it and then shoot it up to whatever platform I need and change it up that way.
And if you, if you're looking for a low-cost video tool, I recommend this in the blog that where I give a little bit more detail on some of this stuff. But InVideo is a great little resource. So you could go to kimgarst.com/InVideo. I think we have a special deal. It's like $5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't beat the tool for the price. So that might be something to check out. Okay, so we've talked about vertical video. Let's talk about live video. Is live video done?
No, but I love live video because look, I can say, hey, Gianna, thank you so much for this. I appreciate, and pulling up people's comments on screen and being able to, say, oh, here's some aha moments. Look at this, being able to engage with people. We have never had this opportunity. And I know it's hard. It's scary to go live. And sometimes you don't know what to talk about. And Kim and I will both stumble on our words and say things that are wrong. And that's just part of going live. But there's no other way where we can connect with this. Now, I love Clubhouse too. I mean, I think it's great for what we need right now, but it's just audio. Here you can see my face. Somebody commented about they wanted me to shave my mustache and beard, and I go to that. But they can see my face. They can see my actions. They can engage with me live. And there's nothing. I mean, we have in our pocket a mobile television studio that Kim and I would have killed for 10 years ago. And it's just amazing that we can do this with a global audience. So I don't think it's going anywhere. There's no better way for me to connect with people.
So I look at this slightly differently. In the context, again, a lot of my strategy is based around leveraging social media for a business end. Like, right. How's this going to matter? And if we are, as entrepreneurs, are interested in, like, lots of times people say, well, you need to write a book because, it gives you it builds your authority, right? I think that live shows in particular, I think it needs to be a show, not just say, hey, I'm going to go live today. I think there's a place for both, but I think intention wise in business and leveraging it for business, a show is a way to build your own stage. Now, a lot of us, when we're entrepreneurs, we want to get on other people's stages, right? We want to go speak. We want to have the book, have the things that build our authority and expertise and attract people to us. But I think a live show gives you that opportunity that's never, ever been available to us before. And when you go speak on someone else's stage, there's a community of people there that whomever invited you there to speak has attracted to them. But does that mean your person, all of those people are your person, your ideal person? I don't know about you, Jeff, but I've spoke on a lot of stages where I got zero business from that opportunity.
Right.
And so the point of this is, and I'll get to it real quick, is that a live show gives you the opportunity to build your own stage. You can invite people on your stage with you. Jeff is here with me today, right? So that I can give more value back to you guys. You and the people you attract in the audience are there. Hopefully you guys are there because you're getting value from this and you are my person, mm-hmm. And so that it's a whole different perspective on how you think about what a live show can bring your way. But the point of it is, and I really want to key in on this part because it's a fascinating dynamic. We have seen a huge jump in people who are consuming live content. But this is an interesting stat, and I want to throw it out there. I'm going to take it right from the blog. 80% of consumers would rather watch a live video from a brand than read a blog post.
Yeah.
80%.
When they can interact with you, which I think is huge. And people just don't want to read anymore. Now, I think so. I think that there's a great question here, and I want to get this to Lisa. She goes, "What are your thoughts on podcasting with video? I always think of podcasting as audio, but it seems people are starting to use video too." I have always done both because I am lazy and I get two things at once, and that's the thing.
You're not lazy. You're working smarter, not harder.
So I always love it because I can repurpose this, and I'm doing this for the Friday show, the social media news live show that I'm doing. I did it for Manly Pinterest Tips. Kim, she's going to do it this year. I'm telling you.
Yes.
She's all this because they're going to make great podcasts, and because some people want to listen, and there's something really intimate about being in somebody's head. And so the show that I did for Social Media Examiner, we had a lot of live viewers, but we always had more downloads with our podcast because people can consume that when they want, and they can go to the gym, or they can, back in the day when we go to the gym, but they could do that when they wanted to in, kind of in a passive way. So if you're going to do a live show, I really recommend doing a podcast as well. Kim, I think, has an article. The other great thing about doing a live show is you have all this opportunity to create all these different pieces of content from one live show. Just one. A good question and answer, that's a clip you can send out to the things we've just been talking about.
Okay, so I am going to do a little bit of a plug here. There was a question here. I can't help it because I'm so passionate about this. Live video has probably been the number one most defining thing in my business since I embraced Periscope in the early days. But BB is asking a great question. What is a live show? Do you just come on live regularly, branded, or is there an app or software? So let me just real quickly tell you what a live show is and why I think everything in your business could flow from it. Okay. So a live show is setting a day and a time, naming it just like you would a podcast, deciding if you want to just go live and share your expertise, or if you want to have guests on, like I have my Marketing That Grows Your Business show is every Monday, normally at 10 a.m. unless I have to adjust for the guest. It is guest style, guest based for the most part. You could do guests, you could share content yourself, or you could do a combination style. Now, when I say all things can flow from your live show, all of your content is a bear today, y'all. I mean, it is hard to do all the things and be all the places that we're supposed to be, right? So with a live show, you can repurpose that live show. You can strip the audio and turn it into a podcast if you wanted to. You could do video clips. You could turn it into stories like we were just talking about. You could create text tweets. You could transcribe your show and turn it into a blog post. So your live show could be the entire content structure for your business. It could be the engine that drives your content flow for all your socials, for your blog, all the stuff that we're supposed to be doing, yet it's hard to do all the things. So if you are interested in learning how to do a live show, setting up your own live show, the pieces and parts, the strategies behind it, send me a personal message on Instagram. I'm probably going to take a handful of students in the near future that has this interest and work with them directly for about 12 weeks to get their show up and operational. So if that is you and you're interested, just send me over on Instagram. I'm Kim Garst on Instagram. I'm Kim Garst everywhere. You can find me. Send me a message and tell me you're interested, and we'll just have a conversation and see if we're a fit. All right, I'm moving on. So
I want to bring up this question by Jill, and she goes, is being live more important than just recording a video? Is live the more important part of the puzzle? And I would say, Jill, yes. Now, because there have been things where people upload stuff and then, see how a live video usually works best, because then you also have the replay. Then you can take, like we were talking about, clips of this and then upload it as a video, like on YouTube or some of the other things. The reason I think live video is so important is what I just did, is that I was able to bring up your question and we can communicate live and you can see your face. There's something we've had at Social Media Examiner and even on Kim's show, people will screenshot and post on Instagram their question being asked and answered on a live show. That's how important it is for people. They love seeing their questions and interacting that way on screen and in a live environment, which is very, very cool. A person who really does this, and Kim's had him on, and I love him to death, is Lou Mangello, who does the Walt Disney World Radio. The way he does his community, you should study, because it is amazing. I mean, they can't go to the parks right now, but his community, and he's still thriving with what he's doing over there, but he does it all based on community, and community is huge in live video.
And one thing I want to share, because he's exactly right, Lou Mangello does an amazing job with building community on his live shows. And what I find fascinating, just utterly amazing, is when he goes live somewhere else, or he does anything like an interview or a podcast interview, his people are so connected to him that they follow him wherever he goes. And like I noticed a huge jump in my numbers when we had him on my live show, and it was because he invited his people to come with him. Mm-hmm. And, that's the key. It's all of this is so relationship based, and being able to see some of you guys. And Jeannie will make sure we drop his name. It's Lou Mangello. And he has a brand that's focused around Disney. And
Walt Disney World Radio. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a really, really interesting platform. Okay. So my next prediction is maybe a little controversial.
Uh-oh, here we go. What is this?
Shiny object syndrome is going to decrease, and we are going to circle back to tried and true and proven marketing techniques. What do you say? Is that true or not?
Now, I will still have trouble when a new app or something comes out. I will have shiny squirrel, squirrel, going in and looking at stuff. But I think that's what we've been talking about all today, is that we're going back to the relationship marketing, like not just blasting things out, but going back and then talking to the people who liked your stuff, who engage with your content, who ask questions, who want to, talk with you on Clubhouse, want to have like a private messenger room where they can ask you questions and that you serve them in that way. So I think this is true. I think it's probably going to be that we are going back to some of the old school. And marketing just has a nasty connotation to it. It sounds like we talked about, like a little, slimy. And so I think the relationship marketing aspect of it is continuing. So that's what people are going to go back to, because they're sick of it, and they know when people are giving them a load of something that I don't even want to say, but you know what I mean.
Well, I think that maybe I'm hoping by sharing that this is going to be a trend in 2021, that it will become one, because, I would love those that are watching right now. And again, there's no judgment here, because we're all entrepreneurs, all on the same road together, trying to, grow our businesses, leveraging social media, digital media, the online space. And, but I think a lot of times we get wrapped up in doing things that just don't drive our business. In fact, I see a lot of people like spending 80 to 90% of their time doing things that don't drive revenue in their business. And if that's you, like I say, there's no judgment here. If you feel like you're spending a bunch of time each and every day doing the things that don't drive your bottom line, aren't creating revenue in your business, would you let me know? I find that there's a lot of that going on. And then I think there is a lot of people who are doing, they're doing things in their business that drive revenue, but they're doing them in the wrong order. Mm-hmm. Going back to, like, are you list building? Like, a lot of entrepreneurs are not focused there. It's stunning how many aren't. But any successful marketer that's leveraging social media or the online space as a whole will tell you that the majority of their revenue comes from their email list. So why do we not focus on it then, right? So where are you in that equation? Again, I mean, I find myself with a huge problem when it comes to shiny object syndrome, and I have to keep my focus, my blinders. Thank goodness for Rhonda; she keeps me.
So I think that's a great point, Kim, because I'm going to circle back to Clubhouse, because yes, a lot of people are on it. Yes, you can connect with people right there, but is it really going to grow your business? Now, you can network with people where it may do it later and it may be an investment, but I was on I went to a room and I just felt like I couldn't leave But the thing is, after I was on it, I was in it for like an hour and a half listening to this, and I probably got 2 minutes worth of content where I wrote stuff down. If I could have read a blog post or been a podcast where I could have skipped ahead, but it's right now, it's like it's live video. If you lose it, it's gone. You have to be there. There's this huge FOMO. But I lost an hour and a half of my time for a room that I was trying to dig a nugget out of. And you're really going to have to, focus on your business. Like somebody asked, what if you don't have a product? I would not be on Clubhouse until you have a product. I mean, there's things like Kim was saying, you have to do in order. You need to have a product. You need to get your list. Then you can go out and start networking, but don't get things out of order. And I see that's where a lot of, and even myself, I've done the same thing is I've gotten distracted and gone the wrong direction, and I didn't have anything to sell, or I didn't have any audience to talk to. I mean, so you got to do things in order. And I think that's what a big takeaway, what Kim was just saying.
Well, with the list building, when I was marketing my list building to profit course, one of the questions that comes up frequently was exactly that question. What if I don't have anything to sell yet? And should I be list building? And my answer to that is there's never a point in your business where you shouldn't be list building. Because if you don't have something to sell yet, well, if you don't have anybody to sell it to when you get it, then how are you? It's like the chicken before the egg, right? So my suggestion is to, move people in the social space or connections that you form to a place where you can serve them, love them up, continue to build a relationship at a deeper level so that when you do have something for sale, you have somebody to sell it to. And if you've nurtured those relationships along the journey, they're way more likely to say yes to whatever you put in front of them. So I think we should always be list building. I don't care where you are. If you have an idea and you want to start a business, start with your building your list. That should be a focal point anyway.
So my question to you, Kim, is do you think people have a real, because I've seen this on social where people say they have a business, but there's no product or even service. They're just, and I'm like,
well, I will say this real quick. We've talked a little bit around Clubhouse multiple times. I've never seen so many millionaires on Clubhouse. Like there's one around. I mean, I'm like, can all these people be millionaires? But it goes back to positioning yourself as the expert. And when it comes to just getting started, and I saw somebody else talking about, let me see if I can see this real learning, Paula. So Paula talks, I've been spending a lot of time learning. So and there's nothing wrong with learning. In fact, I am an avid learner. I love to learn something new. It helps me to consistently stay on top of the new stuff and, changes and that kind of stuff. But learn and implement, girl. Learn and implement. Learn and take action. Learn the little thing, take action on it. And then you build upon those things. If you're constantly in learn mode, I had a client one time in my mastermind who was exactly in that boat. And I couldn't get her to step out of the next course. Like, she just felt like she felt like an imposter. That's really at the root of it. That's her fear, was that she didn't know enough yet. And that is so untrue, y'all. So we all know more than somebody who's 2 or 3 steps behind us. And you're just doing yourself and them a disservice if you're not willing to reach out a hand and help them up. So I get nasty about this because I'm you're doing people a disservice if you know something and you're not reaching behind you and pulling people along with you. Mm-hmm. So, you know stuff that other people don't know, and you are not an imposter. You may feel like you don't know as much as somebody that's 5 to 10 steps ahead of you, and that may be true, but that doesn't mean you can't help the people that are 3 or 4 steps behind you.
Yeah. And to be honest, and Ian Anderson Gray and I talked about this, I almost have crippling imposter syndrome almost every time before I click the live button and during the week. So you have to, I deal with it. Ian is a big speaker and a podcaster and a professional singer. He struggles with it too. And so, no, you're not alone, but you never will go the next level in your business unless you're uncomfortable. It's just what I found out. It's going to be that way.
Well, Going back to the live video, even like I think every time we get ready to go live, we still have that butterflies in our tummy, right? And you put yourself out there. So yeah, I totally. Okay, so what's the next one? What do you got, Jeff?
Well, I just want to pull up this from Laura because I think this is a great question. How much time do you each spend daily on social media total? Ooh, this is a good one. So I've really tried to cut it back. And now with these new apps, like on my phone, tells me how much screen time I've been doing. I've been really trying to cut it down. My goal for 2021 is to create more content and consume less. So my thing is I'm trying to stay off of it completely in the morning and make that my time. And then just because of the nature of my work, I have to be on it. But I want to go check, engage, and not. There's a great book, Indistractable is one of them. There's a bunch by Cal Newport who's really good about, focus. And I'm trying to do more of that. So where I can get on, get off, and turn off Facebook, because I get sucked down that rabbit hole just like everybody else.
Yeah, I think we all do. So I call Facebook crack book. Because you get on and you're like looking and most of the time you're not doing anything on Facebook that's really business focused. You're looking at your neighbor's kid's birthday party photos or whatever, especially these days, because the connection, a lot of our personal connections are not are just not there. So we're really digging in and trying to see what everybody's up to because we don't have that personal connection right now. So for me, I have got to a place where I spend almost no time on social media. I go live. I spend my time live. I will spend time in personal conversations. That's my big thing, the one-on-one conversation. So I will spend time on IG, Instagram in the DMs talking with people, and then on Messenger talking to people. But that's about the sum of it these days, because let me tell you, I have a community of about 1.5 million in the social space, y'all. And I'm blessed. I'm thankful for that. But let me lean in. Okay, lean in. And I want you to hear this. 95% of my revenue comes from my list. My email list. It does not come for posting on social media. Mic drop.
Right. Yeah. It's the list. We've been talking. I think that's the theme. We should just call this live the list.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I keep bringing it up, but it's so important.
And we see it coming more and more important as we go. We're seeing all the stuff that's happening with the social apps and shutting down and starting up and all that stuff. So I want to touch, we have a little bit time left before we go, but I want to do one more. And because I think it's an opportunity for some people who are just getting started. And we talked about going live and with sharing people's audiences. I think virtual conferences in 2021 will continue to grow. And there's an opportunity for new speakers, because I think a lot of the professional paid speakers won't do it for money. And so there's an opportunity, because a lot of these smaller conferences are going to have gone to virtual conferences. And I don't think conferences will come back for at least this next year, probably next. I mean, before people feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's an opportunity there. I think there's still an opportunity for paid speakers. You're just going to have to find the right conference. And conferences, I don't think are going to be able to survive very much longer by the free model. I think they're going to have to pay their speakers. I think they're going to have to, get some new ones in. And so, but there's some opportunities there. So what are your thoughts, Kim?
Well, I think the virtual summits are absolutely growing in popularity. And I think they will survive long term too. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is there's niches, niche specific summits that are just right. Thriving. Whereas in the past, a lot of conferences, big conferences, had broad themes, and it's hard to get butts in the seat when you have a live event versus a virtual summit is, I think, one, easier potentially to get some speakers. They may not be and there's opportunity. Let me talk about this real quick. There's opportunity for people who have expertise to be speakers in these virtual platforms or virtual stages right now, because the paid speakers are probably not wanting to speak for free, or right. They're not wanting to speak for a low speaker fee. So there's probably a lot of opportunity. Now, if you wanted to host an online summit, for example, guess what? They are also amazing List builders. I said it again. Because people love content. They love getting content for free. And if you have a themed virtual summit that is going to help solve problems, or people feel like they're going to get a lot of value because you have, 7-10 speakers that's going to be talking about this topic. So they're going to get a variety of different tips and strategies through that experience. Then they're either willing to sign up for it for free or even pay a low cost ticket price. A lot of these virtual summits, are coming in at a price point that's pretty affordable for literally everybody. So they could be revenue streams for you, but they could also be opportunities to learn and opportunities to get on the stage.
Right. So Nancy asked this question. She goes, how do you recommend getting started speaking? So one of the cool things is live video, because people who want you to speak want to see you, how you handle yourself on camera, because a lot of them are going to be virtual, and start doing that. And then you'll start getting asked to be on other people's show. Like Kim will be on my show, I'll be on her show. And then also the same thing happens with podcasts. When you become do a lot of lives, people will ask you to come on their podcast if they don't have one. At least this has been for me. And that will lead to more speaking gigs, and you'll get bigger and bigger and bigger stages. And so you just have to start. You have to start speaking for free every opportunity you have. You become a better speaker. Every time somebody says it, you need to say yes and do a great job. And then that continues to kind of snowball. But that's how you really get started. And you can say, like in your bio, that I speak about this, this, and this. And that will also help you get niche speaking gigs.
Well, the one thing I didn't mention a moment ago on the live show concept, a live show can be monetized too. I mean, you can do product launches, you can have sponsors, just like a podcast. I mean, some people make, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month on sponsorships for their communities. So there's a lot of opportunity with live shows. But speaking directly back to the question, which was, how do you become a speaker? How does that work? When I first started speaking, OMG, like it was so bad, y'all, so bad. I don't know if you've noticed, but my brain does not work at the same speed as my mouth. So live video helped me to articulate and stop and think a little better. I'm a much better articulator now because of live video than I was when I first started speaking. I used to my knees would knock, my voice would shake for the first 2 or 3 minutes when I first started speaking. It took me 2 or 3 minutes to just get my voice to even out. So it is one of the best things that I have ever done on so many, in so many facets. It is real, like I say, though, one of the biggest value adds just is the ability to articulate better. Mm-hmm. And I still get tongue tied.
We do too.
Yeah.
We got our winners. So you want to pull those up?
Yeah, let's do it. So we've got Jill, Dominique, and let's see. Oh, the Clubhouse winners. Oh, yeah. I was looking for the third name because I was thinking this was the Go Social Content Club. So now one quick thing on the winners for the Clubhouse, make sure that you are an iPhone user. If you don't have an iPhone user, I can't give you the invite. Mm-hmm. But these are extremely valuable. Evidently, people are selling these things.
Yeah, I didn't know that till yesterday, that people were actually selling them on eBay. So yeah, I don't think you need to do that. So I would wait. But
yeah. Then the Go Social Content Club winners. Yes. Okay. Patty, Lakeisha, and Sandra are the winners of the Go Social Content Club, which is a solution to your social media content. I want to give a shout out to the Go Social Content Club again, and all the winners. If you'll go to kimgarst.com/winner and share your deets with us, it will get you set up and you'll be off to the races. And again, just wanted to remind everybody, because we talked a lot about live video. If that's something that you're interested in, you want to do your own show, go over to Instagram and just send me a message and let me know. Like I say, I'm going to be doing a workshop style, working with people directly for about 12 weeks. So if that's something that you're interested in, just send me a message. We'll talk about that separately. All right. So Jeff, any last words? And
Nope.
let everybody know where they can find and connect with you.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Sieh everywhere. That's JeffSieh, I before E, especially in C. And then you can go find the new show at socialmedianewslive.com or Social Media News Live on Facebook. We'll do that every Friday at 10 p.m. Central Time. So join us there. I'd love to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. And just quick reminder, y'all, that we'll be live again next Monday, Marketing That Grows Your Business show. We've got a super awesome guest. One of the things about Clubhouse is that I'm connecting with amazing people that I didn't know before. So y'all are in for a treat. We've got some interesting new faces that I bet you don't know or haven't heard or seen before. But I want to thank Jeff because he shared his expertise. Definitely check out his social media trends. I mean, his social media live show that he is just started, because he is in the know. So make sure you do that. There you go, Rhonda. Thanks for popping that up. And you guys take care of yourselves. Stay safe and God bless.